Alright. Alright, so once again I'm live. Dad gonna go and leak tonight, but Dad gonna not for long, just for a little bit. Chak, what's going on, brother?
Mic check, mic check.
Alright, I'm here.
Salute, salute. What's the word? What's the word?
Uh the Messiah came back tonight.
Hold on. The Negro Messiah or the mm,
Hmm.
mm.
I'm talking about the one that played for the Buffalo Bills. Talking about Damar Hamlin. Alright, let's see. It's saying that daggone he came back on the last drive. But it ain't uploaded to YouTube yet. I tell you what. I got you straight, Chak. Don't worry about it. Since they brought it up, I've been telling you this was gonna happen a long time ago. Just to show you that I ain't crazy. I've been saying this for a year. I said they gonna have to find some way to get this boy back out on the field. There you go, Chak. Mm. Here you go.
Card. Earn 2% cash back on what you want, like a chic velvet party dress, the perfect petal pink lipstick, vintage earrings with a mysterious history, and 2% cash back on what you need, like a first-rate lint brush. The Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card. That's real life ready.
Wilson, Troutman, inside the 40.
There he is, Chak. He the one that made the tackle on the play. So just pointing it out there. Number 3. Hey, what's up, Doaz? He wasn't there long. That's right. Rashad agreed he was not there long. But so I think that I got to go back and look at the time when he ended the game. I think it was around the 130 mark, 133, right? There's some signs, some numerology going on in here, Chak. But a guy got hurt. I think number 39 got hurt, and then they brought Damar Hamlin in the game. And I've been saying they was gonna do this in one of these games, and you know what? Then I had Buffalo on TV. The first game of the season against the Jets, 22 years after 9/11. The final score was 22-16. All right, check this out. Get another layer. Last week they played Cincinnati on Sunday Night Football. The final score was 24-18. That's 42. That's Jackie Robinson number. That's a number they sometimes say stamped on Black America. All right. And this time, this is the third Monday Night Football game I think that Buffalo had this year. It's either third or second. I think it's second. They played the first game of the year against the Jets in New York. And the final score was 22-16, 22 years after 9/11. And today, Miami got number 3, right? Yeah. And he got in the game tonight. They said this is the first time he played and took a snap in a game on defense all year. I said, man, I've been telling y'all they was going to do this, man. Didn't I tell you? I told you this. I told you they're going to make something out of this guy or this clone or whatever it is, right? Probably clone or whatever, right? But just let you know, the Messiah came back tonight. I'm getting ready for a hologram of Jesus in the sky now.
Oh, shoot.
Now, you know, they said Ice Spice got nominated for 4 Grammys, and I think they say they might give Tupac a Grammy after 30 years. I said, wait, they're doing a whole lot of bull crap. I said, come on, man. Who writing this script, man? This thing funny, man. But nevertheless, that's just the way it goes, brother. That's just the way it goes, brother. Now, with that being said, I just wanted to tell people the hero Hamlin came back tonight. Don't know what that's about. Not trying. I think even going on in Buffalo, they had the shooting. You got Hamlin. Every time you watch a Buffalo game, you see somebody get caught off an ambulance for the most part, or something happens, right? There's the first game of the year. Aaron Rodgers left on the ambulance when they played the Jets or whatever. So I don't know. It's just weird, man. But nevertheless, there was a sighting at the White House or by the White House that Secret Service opened fire. Here it is, Shaq. Hey, look, let me be clear on this now, okay? I want to be clear. Because you know how they how they hate me on here, right? You know how they hate me, Shaq, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Trying to find it. Now I can't find the damn thing. I got it. Fair use copyright under copyright disclaimer under section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976 allows me fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statute might otherwise be infringing.
Mm-hmm. Let's get it.
Final score was 24-22. That's right, brother. You're right. Interesting, right? But nevertheless, what you think about this, Shaq? 3 people tried to break into the president's granddaughter's car, and nobody was injured, but some people were shot at. Nobody was injured, though, by the way. I mean, just sound kind of weird to me, man. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. What do you think about this, man? Is it interesting?
Yeah, it's ridiculous, man. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
Sound very interesting, don't it, man?
Come on, tell us the story.
They're not gonna tell you the story. Shit. They ain't gonna tell you that story. They're not gonna tell you that story. Yeah, they're not gonna tell you that story at all. They will not tell you. They are not gonna tell you that story.
Damn. Hold on. Why they won't tell us that story? What's good with that? What's up with that? They got all the information. They the fact checkers. What's good? You know what I mean? Talk to them.
They're not fact checkers.
Matter of fact, who checking? Who fact checking the fact checkers, yo? That's what I need to know. That's what I want to know.
Now this is about what's his name? Bill Maher. He's criticizing Obama. You know, Obama and Michelle was just at the White House. The African American Museum or something. They were watching a screening of Bayard Rustin, who he said was critical to the civil rights movement. He was an openly gay black man who also was the architect of the civil rights movement. So they got rid of the union strike that they had for the actors, and then they had the screening of the movie called Rustin, and they said Barack Obama and Michelle were at the screening. So how nice.
Damn. Wow.
So showing you their allegiances to the LGBTQIA+. Now,
What you got? You playing something?
oh, you don't hear that?
No, I don't hear nothing.
Oh,
Hold
my
on,
bad.
yeah, I don't hear nothing. Let me mute up and try. I'm from pull on my phone. I'm on my laptop. I don't
Oh,
hear
no, I
nothing.
know what it is. I thought,
Yeah, I don't hear no audio.
my bad. I got it.
No, yeah, ain't no audio playing at all.
You hear that?
Still. I mean,
There we go. Yeah.
Barack Obama, who has rarely disappointed me, did so this week. I mean, his statement, it's not a horrible statement, but he said, if you want to solve the problem, then you have to take in the whole truth, and then you have to admit nobody's hands are clean. Literally, that's true, of course. But just give you two examples where this is, I don't think, a helpful statement at this moment. First of all, the attack was only a month ago. A more savage attack than we've ever seen in reverse. There's a big difference between collateral damage and what Hamas did. Secondly, okay, the Israelis are now allowing a 4-hour pause for people to get out. I'm sorry, people say, oh, wow, big of them. Okay, but it is a war that the other side started. So interesting. When they fire at Israel, it's a war. When Israel fires back, it's a war crime. Little crazy. So, and also, would Hamas do that? Would they give 4-hour pause? No pausing. And then Israel's heritage minister was asked in an interview about using a nuke on Gaza. And he said that's one of the possibilities. He was fired, not allowed in the cabinet meeting anymore, disavowed by the prime minister. Would that happen in reverse? So enough with the moral equivalencies, please.
I think the only moral equivalency you can make there is that there are civilian deaths on both sides, and that's tragic. And no one wants civilian deaths in this scenario except for Hamas.
Iran probably wants them to.
Yes.
But who very deliberately set out to kill civilians, whereas, as you pointed out, Israel is trying not to kill civilians.
But yes, and also because, and this minister said one thing that was true. I don't think his nuclear comment was very smart, but he said, you can't scare them with death. That's a big difference with this conflict. And
especially with other people's death.
With their own. People don't care about other people in wars, but they do often mostly care about their own. I think we are forgetting a little bit of the Islamic fanaticism part of this, because you're not supposed to talk about that anymore. Because if you do, no matter how realistic it is, it becomes Islamophobia. But it's true. The people in Hamas who kill their own people think they're doing them a favor because they're becoming martyrs. That's a different kind of situation.
Basically, what he's saying is Barack Obama is said there need to be more equivalent, and he doesn't like that. That's basically what he's talking about. Basically saying that they're going to, it's one side, it's either my side or no side. That's what he really trying to tell you. That's really what's going on. Sad to say the world we live in, Chak, but that's just the way it is these days. Now, National Guard called in to assist DC to be a big process in DC tomorrow, just letting you know.
We begin in the district tonight with local and federal officials preparing for 60,000 people to gather on the National Mall for a massive pro-Israel demonstration. Fox 5's Nana Sentyo-Bonsu live with more on the preps for tomorrow's March for Israel rally. Nana.
Kenneth, good evening. That's right. You said it.
Stay out. Anybody that's watching, stay out of this crap. Don't not go to DC tomorrow. They may be pinging your phones and they may try to set you up.
60,000 people. That's how many attendees organizers are expecting here in the nation's capital tomorrow. Take a look behind me at the main stage. It is almost basically set and ready to go, but there are a few things that crews are putting together right now as we...
Yeah, you see that stage, Americans March for Israel?
It said Americans March for Israel, huh?
Yeah, they already got the stage set for tomorrow. So they got 60,000 organizers. Who organized this march, man?
Americans March for Israel. They're not Americans. They're U.S. citizens. United States. They're U.S. The USA. United States of America citizens. See, they've been trying to put America on, and that's a little bit. People need to get edified. See,
I'm gonna let the woman keep talking.
First of all, Israel is a state. Israel. I hope people know Israel is not a country. I hope people know that.
It's not a country, it's a state. It's a state that wasn't made until 1948. All right, now check this out.
Be speaking, as you can probably hear, to make sure that things run smoothly tomorrow.
All this we're seeing here is just to accommodate all the traffic that's going to be expected to be in D.C. tomorrow.
In front of the Capitol sits the stage for the America's March for Israel rally.
People are coming in from California, from Florida, from Texas, Chicago, Boston, New York.
Organizers say they are expecting anywhere from 60 to 100,000 people on the National Mall in a show of solidarity with Israel.
A large swath of Americans are coming together and demanding the continued support of this government for Israel's needs to protect itself. No one wants people to die. No one wants more people injured or hurt. But what people do want, and what Israel is demanding right now, is that they are allowed to live in peace and security without the ongoing threat of Hamas 6 months, a year from now, 5 years from now, doing the exact same thing.
In order to give people a safe and comfortable place to demonstrate, crews are hard at work, placing protective floor covering on the grass and installing barriers.
Bicycle rack or barricade, and that's basically to protect the crowd from surging.
To help with the crowds, the city put in a request for the DC National Guard. There will be teams on the ground supporting DC police with traffic. MPD says at the moment there are no credible threats, but for organizers, safety is top of mind.
In the current climate, in the current context, is something that we need to think about very carefully, and that people are worried about, but there will be very tight security for the event.
Now, tight security, traffic, and road closures are all expected tomorrow. Example, 4th Street from Constitution to Independence will be closed to vehicles. So for a full list of closures and just how to get around downtown DC tomorrow, visit our website. The event kicks off at 1 p.m., but doors open at 10.
What do you think about that, man? What do you think about this, Chak? Interesting. Got a protest tomorrow in D.C.
A protest in D.C., but you got to realize now, Israel is its own state, and the District of Columbia is not part of the United States of America either. So who is it part of?
Now, let me say something about that. I'm glad you said that. Because the District of Columbia is at the heart of the Vatican.
There you go. There you go. It's all the
Jesuits ruling it, baby.
All the dots are connecting, dog.
Yeah, because look, you gotta remember a couple of years ago, they were talking about trying to make DC a state. That told you it was not a state from the start.
Well, we'll give them a little bit of history, American history then, because Pennsylvania used to be where the United States capital was at.
The Keystone State.
And they moved it down to DC. You know, the White House. The White House used to be in Pennsylvania. So, go figure. Go figure. Demo? Is that when the demo government took over or became more prevalent? The democratic government? It ain't happenstance that DC.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute now. Hold on. More than 100,000 people march in Paris to protest anti-Semitism. All right, we're gonna get to that, but I got this. I'm gonna play 2 videos, Chak. I know y'all hate me when I do this, but I always got to give the man with the plane, my man, none other than Jonathan Greenblatt, the CEO of the Anti-Defamation League.
Look, he get more play. He get more airplay than Drake. Damn.
Hey, man. Hey, look.
Good.
You look here, man.
Hmm?
Jonathan Greenblatt needed his own album, man, because they done brought him on the news again. And I just told you they about to have this march tomorrow in D.C. And he on the news talking about how the Israel-Hamas war fuels anti-Semitism in the U.S. All right. Now, you know, for purpose of discussion, the greed people, as you call them. But, but if you hear anything that he's saying that you don't like, feel free to tell me to pause it, because we're going to break this down, because you know he out here. Here we go.
Let's bring in one of the people that reports, CEO of the Anti-Defamation League, Jonathan Greenblatt. The ADL is organizing a march in Washington in support of Israel, set to take place on Tuesday. Also with us, Rabbi Matthew Gewertz. Last week.
Stop right there. Stop right there, Chak. Did I just say they had a march on Israel? March for Israel tomorrow in D.C., right? And I said who the organizers are. They just told you the ADL sponsors the march. Now Maria, you tell anybody that live in D.C., don't go to that damn march. They just told you the ADL is sponsoring this march. What do you think about that, Chak? The ADL sponsoring this march tomorrow. I didn't even have to look hard. They told you right there. I knew they were sponsored, but I just want to show you they sponsored. What do you think about that? They organized this.
That's how I go, man. Look here, man. This is a hey, look here. Hey, we seen it with our eyes, man. This ain't no documentary. This ain't no YouTube doc. This is live in effect, baby. This is
live and living color, baby.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Hold on, man. I don't have my hoodie on all day. I gotta take this thing off, man. I'm about to get mad, man. This thing getting crazy. Hold on, let me play this thing.
He returned from a trip to Israel, where he met with victims of October 7th terror attacks and family members of hostages being held by Hamas. Jonathan, let's start with you. Obviously, I've heard you, Reverend Sharpton, talk about how discrimination, threats against anybody, obviously contemptible, whether it's Muslim Americans or Israeli or Jewish Americans. But a number just keeps sticking in my head, and that is the FBI Director Wray saying that Jews make up 2% of the population, 60% of the hate crimes last year directed towards Jews. I must tell you, the more time I spend on college campuses, the more time I talk to kids going to college campuses. Meek and I have children in college. The more absolutely shocked I am by the high levels of anti-Semitism that we're experiencing right now. More reports of it coming from MIT. We've seen what's happened at Harvard. We've seen what's happened at Penn. We've seen what's happened across the country. What is going on?
Yeah, I mean, it is indeed shocking. It is stunning, and it is sickening. Joe, I appreciate you calling attention to this because it is a nightmare for these Jewish students. I mean, since I was last on your show at MIT, Jewish students are being physically prevented from going to class. Jewish staff members at MIT are being harassed in their offices. Their classes are being interrupted.
Wait a minute now. Wait a minute now, Chak. Wait a minute, Chak. Hold on. Stop it.
Yeah.
They didn't even go into class. Hey, look, man. This sounds like the 1960s. When they were talking about stopping us, we going, what?
Do you know how pristine MIT is, dog? You know the prestige MIT, the weight it holds?
Come on, man. You believe in this stuff?
Well, go back.
Hey, man, look. Let me say something, man. I'm gonna be nice tonight, man. Look. I'm look. Let me put the number in the chat. Hey, look, anybody, look. For purpose of this discussion, I'm gonna say, you know, until I can Google and find out what's going on. We call them the greed people now, because we don't know what they. I gotta look up all their code words to find out where they be striking me. And we gotta get some of this information out to you. So let's just be real.
But let me bring up what they said before you go. Go back. You said Jewish people, the greed people, right? They make up 2% of the population, but 60% of all anti-Semitism. How?
Well, if that's the case, the answer means stink.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Talk about it.
Do you know?
And
do you know 2% of the population? I think they got like 6 or 5 million. They say Jewish people work that's living in the U.S. Right? Okay, now
say. It's way more than because. Okay, go.
If that's the case, you're telling me that you're telling me over 3 million to 4 million Jewish people are being attacked. You said 60% of the population. That is impossible.
Man, look here, man. First of all, ain't nobody on this planet been more discriminated, more hated on, more undervalued, the most anti of all, any anti you can put up under it. Anti-success, anti-economic, anti-education, any anti you can put in front of anything, right? The highest number of stolen identity is the melanated, copper-colored American people, indigenous American people on this soil.
Hey, man.
Ain't nobody else in that category but us. They some liars.
You know what I need to do, Chak?
What's that?
Shoot. All this anti-Semitic talk they're doing, me and you might need to file us a lawsuit and say we Semitic or something. These boys surely is crying a whole lot of woofing, man. They woofing more than dang on a pack of wolves outside right now. God damn. This shit funny. But look, let it play, because this shit be cracking me up, man. This move cracking me up, man. You gotta give it to him, man. He is really making a name for himself, but never let the fool.
He said he couldn't go to class. What?
Come on, man.
I need to see that video. I need to see that in writing.
At Yale, there have been multiple protests with hundreds of students yelling resistance is justified. This to a Jewish community that had its women raped, its babies killed by people claiming to be quote unquote doing resistance. At Penn, there were death threats this week against the Hillel. At UCLA yesterday,
your boy just said it was wartime.
A place where my wife graduated from, mass students violently destroyed a piñata with the face of the Jewish leader on it. Look, I've been on your show for years. Violent, dehumanizing language leads to violent, dehumanizing actions. And so I've got to say, Joe, earlier this week, ADL, in partnership with Hillel and the Brandeis Center, we launched a legal call-in line for college students if they are experiencing discrimination or hate. And in just 4 days, we've had over 90 cases submitted to us. And we've trained hundreds of lawyers.
Let me ask you, though. Great idea. Great idea. You've got to explain something to me.
Okay.
Why is it that administrators, presidents, and I'm looking at MIT right now based on what you've told me, but I can look at other colleges too. Colleges, some of the most elite colleges in the country, Jewish students are, and I said this earlier, are not only facing harassment. Students that refuse to take an extreme position, listen to me here, on elite college campuses, students that refuse to take an extreme position against Jews are actually harassed with threats of cancellation.
That's right.
Well, It makes me so angry. I want to know where the college presidents are.
He's saying students who refuse to take an extreme position against Jewish people are being threatened with cancellation. That's what he said.
So he mean people that don't identify with Jewish? What are we trying to say? I'm trying to understand what he's trying to say.
He's trying to say that if you're not taking a position of being against Jewish people, they trying to give you a hard time. That's what he's trying to say.
So he's saying there's actually some people trying to force people to be against Jewish people.
That's what he's saying. Yes, that's what
I
he's saying.
need to see that in the document. I need to see that paperwork.
Well, Dawson just put in the chat, where is the evidence? Who
I need
knows?
to see the paperwork. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I need to see that paperwork. I need to see that in writing. I need to put some documents, dog, and some filings, some court filings, or some complaints filed. Because everybody don't subscribe to Judaism or a Jewish mindsets and thoughts.
Hey, look.
Hey,
look, Chak.
Y'all condemn everybody else's religion. Everybody
They sure as hell.
Let me let the clown keep going. He gonna trip himself on another foot trap.
Okay.
Stepped in rightly after George Floyd's death. They rightly step in after other extreme actions take place. They rightly step in, and I hope like hell if Muslims were facing violence day in and day out on college campuses, I would hope like hell they would do it. Anybody that's watched this show for 16 years heard me speak out time and time again whenever there's a hint of any discrimination against Muslim Americans. So I want to know, and let's just say it like it is. Why on our most elite college campuses are Jews held to a far lower standard and Jewish kids held to a far lower standard than anybody else? Because I thought for the past 20 years, college administrators were trying to create, quote, safe spaces for anybody that wanted to be bubble wrapped.
I am so sick of the safe spaces conversation. Don't talk to me about safe spaces when your campuses are literally unsafe. These college administrators, and it's the oppression Olympics, Joe. It's the oppression Olympics where you either play oppressor or oppressed. And in this victimology madness, Jews are somehow put at the bottom. But here's the thing, Joe. I am so tired of the cowardice.
That's a damn lie. You can't say
university presidents. I am looking at you. If you violate Title VI and you make your students unsafe, ADL is coming for you. If you create environments where Jewish students are hostile, are being harassed, being targeted,
you made a threat against you making a threat against you make a threat against American colleges, dude. That motherfucker needs to be fried. You make a threat against American colleges, bitch.
And look, whether you're going to lose tens of millions of donor dollars, and you will, or you lose hundreds of millions in federal funding because you lose Title VI, and you will. We are coming for you because I'm tired of waiting, Joe. I'm tired of waiting for them to protect my Jewish kids in school. So I'm going to protect them with the full force of the law.
Well, I mean, they need to, and they haven't. Rabbi, I want to get to you.
What law is it that they break and they violate?
You just come back from Israel.
Tell me.
Tom.
Now,
anti-Semitic law?
Not right there. Not right there.
Good law.
Not right there.
Tell me
Not
good
right
law.
there. Now, what I'm letting you know is that he just let you know, to the colleges, he let you know he about to lay down a hammer. He said Title VI. Look up Title VI. Find out what Title VI is about. It's first spot. Okay, number 2. He's saying that either you're going to lose donor dollars or you're going to lose federal funding. So basically, they about to try to round up all these college professors.
Hey, he setting himself up. He setting himself up for a severe lawsuit.
He already
He's setting himself up for a lawsuit. He's setting himself up for a lawsuit because he got this is evidence. This is audio and visual evidence of him threatening people because of other people's right, freedom of speech to speak. You know what I'm saying? He a threaten you. This is threat. He just made it a threat to all some of these most pristine American colleges. He just made a threat. I hope everybody take note of that. He made an open threat. They need to take legal action against his ass for making a threat like that.
Was Kanye on to something? Now, let's just put it out there. But nevertheless, He did, yeah. So he letting you know they come in for the hammer. Now he talking about safe space. He said you call it safe space. That's actually bullshit. That's a censorship stuff. That safe space stuff is bullshit too. So don't let him fool you with that. But he's saying your college unsafe. So now he say they coming for the money now. You don't like it, we're gonna defund you. He letting you know. See, they running economic sanctions, brother. See, they running sanctions on people. They try. See, you told me that they be pump faking. They have pump fake their favor to a good position. Great
Now
position.
hold on. Did he say? What did he say? Title? Which title he said?
Title 6.
Oh, okay. Okay. I googled the wrong one. Okay.
Yeah, look it up. But
Title 6. Okay.
let them keep talking because they got a rabbi on here too now. So let them keep talking. Oh shoot.
What is Title 6?
Friedman, I thought, had a great column this past week talking about how Israel, he doesn't recognize the Israel that he's in now. And one of the more heartbreaking things is just how complicated the situation is. You have Hamas, the Hamas terrorists, of course, who have started all this and blown things apart. At the same time, Tom talks about what's happening on the West Bank and radical settlers who are doing things that are blowing apart the opportunity for a two-state solution. So Jews and Palestinians one day can live together in safety, in peace, in dignity. It seems right now we're farther and farther away from. I had one of my children last night when I talked about two-state solution. One of my children said to me last night, he said, "Dad, that's just not possible anymore, is it?" I said, "We have no choice. We have no choice." And yet,
what do you mean by that?
Away now, not just because of the terror strikes from Hamas, but because of what's happening in the West Bank.
I could just tell you, Joe, that I have been to Israel 35 times in my life, and I've never experienced it like this. It is as dire as you think. It is as existential as you think. It is as dreadful as you think. And in some counterintuitive way, it is more hopeful than you might think. The streets are full of murmur, not Israeli lively banter. There's no one between 18 and 40 years old in the street because they're all either up north or down south fighting or getting ready to fight. And there's a sense of both confidence and focus in people's eyes, but also a sense of fear. You know, this show and other shows have done incredible work in reporting back what's going on there. But when you hear stories firsthand, it just sears the soul. Parents and grandparents who've said, I came to this country to build it, to make sure that never again would be able to be perpetuated. But again happened just a month ago. And that is crystal clear there right now.
Rabbi, you when you come on, you bring hope to our viewers, even in the most uncertain of times. Let me ask you, what hope is there long term as we look over the horizon for? I'll say it again, and I'm going to keep saying it, even though radicals on both sides don't want it to be said. A two-state solution where Israelis can live safely in their homes, where Palestinians can live safely with dignity. Give us hope that we can get there someday soon.
I'm going to give you hope sort of in a backwards way. One of the people we met with was a woman who lost two sons on that day of October 7th. And she's there with sort of this steadfast voice talking to us and said, you know what I decided to do? Instead of digging two graves, I dug one because I wanted them buried together. I wanted them holding hand to hand to show in Hebrew what's called achdut, which means unity. And somehow these boys are not going to die in vain because we as a Jewish people are going to stand together. And then she looked at me and she said, you no longer have the luxury of polarization in your country. You cannot hate each other while we all need each other because my boys are not going to die in vain. So if you think back in America, you're going to talk about your party
I
is
hope
less
y'all got that
than
same energy when it's our time. We talking about reparation, restitution, cuz.
And the other one is,
Time for us to
and
get
you
that
are
goddamn
turning
check.
your
I
gaze
hope
from
you
what's
got that
most
same
important.
energy.
And if you don't want my boys to die in vain, then somehow you have to come together. Or, she said, you will somehow add to the extermination of the Jewish people. So with those boys not dying in vain, or any boys and girls dying in vain, we have to come together in ways that we never have before.
Rabbi Matthew Gewertz and CEO of the Anti-Defamation League, Jonathan Greenblatt, thank you both so much. And
Come on, man. Okay. All right, Shaq. Free thoughts on this, man. Kind of interesting, man. A lot of things going, a lot
I'm
of
still
missing
stuck on
parts.
the threats, the open threats that this man made, dog, on the public publication like that, yo. Open threat.
Hey, let me ask you a question. Is that hateful?
Hmm?
Is that
That was
hateful?
hate speech. That was hate speech. I think he need to be reprimanded. Actually, I'm calling for was that Greenblatt? Who was that? The rabbi was that
That's
Greenblatt?
Greenblatt. That's Greenblatt.
I'm calling for him to step down from the ADL because he's emotional and his emotions is getting out in front of him. This is our sensitive times. I'm calling for him to step down, to step back, you know, until this stuff work its way out because he is throwing out open threats in America, on American soil. We don't go for that. We ain't going for that.
Mm.
I'm not going for it.
Well, look.
Watch 100 plus channels of live TV, your favorite sports, movies, and more.
Say it again.
Tonight, Governor Hochul.
So I said he pulling whole cards now. He trying to pull your card.
Trying to pull your whole card, yeah. Making threats. Which he always been doing, making threats. But they keep saying they on the bottom. How you on the bottom, man, when everybody pretty much scared to walk on eggshells, even mention anything where they mention Jewish people in a good light or a bad light. Y'all got people walking on eggshells, dog. But y'all can openly call somebody anti this and anti that or a hate for this group and hate for that group and put that title on you.
Wait a minute, brother. Dawson is in the chat and she asked me, where's the evidence, right?
I didn't see the evidence.
I can't find that kind of evidence in that little bit of time. But I'm going to play something he talked about. Take it for what it's worth. I might not believe it. You don't believe it. But Jewish students at Columbia University say they are experiencing anti-Semitism. So let's take a look.
Visited Cornell after graphic anti-Semitic threats were posted online over the weekend.
The governor said state police are stepping up security at college campuses across the state. As CBS 2's Lisa Rosner reports, today Jewish students at Columbia University spoke out saying that they feel unsafe.
Sunday at Cornell University, the FBI was called to investigate anti-Semitic messages posted online as graphic threats of murder, sexual violence, and comparison to animals. At one point, students and staff were asked to avoid the school's Center for Jewish Living out of an abundance of caution. Monday at Columbia University, senior Noah Fay joined other Jewish students in demanding the university do more about anti-Semitism there too.
We have students on our campus calling out by name explicitly that they want certain students on this campus to die slowly. Someone had to make a group chat to escort Jewish students around campus.
The NYPD confirms a swastika was found on a bathroom wall Friday. Recently, Eli Schmidman says someone shouted an expletive at him as he walked into a campus building.
He said, the Jews.
I've seen them parrot foul anti-Semitic tropes. I've seen them label visibly Muslim students as terrorists.
Monday, after meeting with students at Cornell, Governor Hochul said she would not tolerate any kind of hatred that makes people feel vulnerable.
State police have ramped up security on college campuses since October 7th, and we're going to continue to do so. Our intelligence center has been beefing up his monitoring of social media.
Students at Columbia tell me while they appreciate Governor Hochul's response, it is not enough.
There's many, many more steps that need to be taken that are not just or even physical police presence. This is a cultural problem.
Students say they've asked the university to clarify and enforce policies for identity-based bigotry, invest more resources to support victims, and publicly condemn Hamas. A Columbia University spokesperson said in part, anti-Semitism or any other form of hate are antithetical to Columbia's values. It will not.
Because it's both sides, like they just said, it's blood on both sides. So it's times where Israel is the aggressor, I guess it's time with Hamas is aggressive. So they need to publicly announce all aggressors in the party. And don't just how you going to, you know what I'm saying? It's wartime, ain't it? That's what they just said. It's wartime.
That's interesting.
Then they're biased. You want the president to be biased, so you actually want the president to violate civil rights, which you just said stated in which is Article 5, Article 6. You want the president of these colleges, deans, and presidents to denounce somebody. Really? Who got that type of power control?
Kind of interesting. Well, here we go. Let me finish out.
Not be tolerated. We are using every available tool to keep our community safe. In Morningside Heights, Lisa Rosner, CBS 2 News.
And the president today announcing new action to combat anti-Semitism incidents on campus. Security now working with campus law enforcement and state and local officials to address the threats and share information about events.
What's the crime and penalty for faking a so-called hate crime?
I don't know. That's a good question. We need to find out.
They need to be prosecuted if the people have found that they are faking these hopefully they ain't these attacks and making false accusations, man. They need to be prosecuted, dog. I'm just saying. Keeping it 100. Because it's still severe. They put that hate tag on somebody's name, G. And they just openly just throw that hate tag out there on people's names.
There's
dog,
nothing more
anti-name.
powerful than you making your thing happen. Really going for
This is in Hawaii. Drone footage shows pink pond in Hawaii.
It's pink who?
Pink water in Hawaii. The water's pink.
What does that mean?
Drought. They say it's a drought. They say Hawaii done had some stage of drought since June.
But what does that got to do with the water being pink though?
I think it's radioactive. They say it's a bacteria because the water has got high salinity, but that's what they say it is.
Wow.
Yeah. The bishop said these so-called oppressed greed people have the power to make their demands heard and enforced. Sounds like an oxymoron to me.
You're right, Bishop. It's amazing that they can get to these platforms and they can make these demands and threats on public, against American organizations and stuff on American soil.
Hey,
That's
man.
deep. That's deep, dog. That's deep. That's deep to me. We need to figure something out, cuz they really trying to pull our whole card.
But it's mighty crazy how this thing going on. They just keep on bringing it up. They keep on bringing it. They keep on bringing it up.
Why have they found anyone? Have anyone been actually seen or locked up, or any charges pressed on anyone that's doing some type of hate stuff or something? Has there been any charges pressed? Any paperwork filed? I need to see that paperwork, doc, because y'all just coming on and saying it, dog, and then citing some stuff, man. Times are too serious now.
Well, let's see. Got one more article to pull up, but we ain't gonna be on long.
course, we do have some sad news coming from the Donald Trump family. We are learning this morning that Donald Trump's sister was found dead at the age of 86. Marianne Trump Berry. She was the oldest sister of President Donald Trump and died this morning at the age of 86. She died at her home on the Upper East Side in Manhattan, and the cause of death right now is unknown at this time. New York Times reporting as well. Of course, this is a developing story, but we wanted to bring that to you, of course, right here on Live Now from Fox, always in the mix here as we continue to showcase what is happening in real time as always. Obviously, investigation will be going, but she was 86 years old. The New York Times reporting that she died at the Upper East Side of Manhattan. Miss Berry, the widow of John Berry, a veteran trial and appellate lawyer, had been a federal judge in New Jersey, a position that Mr. Trump's fixer, the lawyer Roy Cohn, was credited with helping her attain during Ronald Reagan's tenure. She retired from the bench in 2019 at a time when inquiries were brewing after a New York Times investigation into the family's tax practices. Mr. Trump seemed to heed the words of few people as much as he did his sisters, according to confidants, but they had a significant fissure in their relationship in the final year of his presidency when their niece, Marielle Trump, who was promoting a memoir about their family, released audio recordings of her aunt speaking critically about the president there. So again, we'll be keeping an eye on this story. It is still developing, and of course, we'll bring it to you right here on Live Now from Fox.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy. Oh, let me play one more thing before I go. I've got to minute. Because there's another big strike going on tomorrow in Providence.
NCIS Sydney. Watch the new series
Nurse
on
strike going on.
CBS.
More than 1,300 nurses at Providence Everett will be going on strike a week from tomorrow. The union representing the nurses says the strike will begin on November the 14th and end on November the 19th. The union gave the hospital a 10-day strike notice on Friday. They say that understaffing is impacting nurses and patients. The union representing the nurses in Providence Regional negotiated up until last Thursday, but the union says an agreement was not reached.
We are distressed that it has come to this step. Nurses take our job for caring for the community extremely serious. We see you and your families through some of the most difficult times and moments of your lives. But while we don't take the idea of striking lightly, at some point, our responsibility to the patients means more than just the medical care that we can give them on a single shift.
Providence has said that if the strike does occur, it will be prepared to bring in nurses for the duration of the strike. More than 1,300.
Well, also 600 hospitals on the brink of closure. So shows you a lot of things going on, Chak, unfortunately. Let me do this. I got about 5 more minutes, but let's do this. Anybody want to call in? Right quick. Ain't going too much longer, but I got to give in the morning. But 571-450-0773. 571-450-0773. How you doing, Mama Chief? Yeah, this but it's very interesting. All this stuff going on. I mean, look at this, Chak. What did Bishop saying? They say, I don't care if Americans think we run in news media, Hollywood, Wall Street, or the government. I just care that we keep running them. Then we get to keep running it, baby. We get to keep running it. That's what they letting you know. Run. They doing this thing better than Chris Brown's song, Running. When I was coming back from Georgia yesterday, I saw a sign that said heroes work here, but these nurses were always heroes to people. So I'm trying to find out, why do we have to make a sign and say heroes work here? If you know what I'm saying. So we don't have to say heroes work here because they say it. We know that they're going. We got to be our own heroes right now. And your own saviors. So that's what you got to be, because they letting you know. I'm gonna play one more video while I'm at this shit. I'm just gonna think about it. Since is this, which one is it? This one in Seattle.
Nurses at the largest hospital serving Snohomish County are set to strike. Union leaders in Providence Regional Medical Center have not reached a contract agreement.
Fox 13's Frankie Thompson is in Everett at the hospital where the strike will start first thing in the morning.
Come 6 a.m. tomorrow, it will be a different atmosphere here at Providence as a 5-day nurses strike begins. Union leaders say this is going to affect care for so many patients, but a hospital executive says otherwise. They have a plan and ready to execute it. Out the doors at Providence Regional Medical Center in Everett. Soon, 1,300 nurses will trade in their shifts for a stance on the picket line.
All it takes, it's very simple, is a fair contract.
Leaders of the United Food and Commercial Workers Union announced an unfair labor practice strike, saying chronic understaffing continues to threaten the safety and well-being of patients and nurses.
We would much rather have our nurses here. We're disappointed that they made the decision to strike, but it's their right, and we respect that.
Christy Carrington is chief executive of Providence Swedish North Sound. She says during the 5-day strike, the hospital will use replacement nurses from an agency to provide health care, while volunteers support daily operations.
So we have to make sure we're continuing to be here for the community. We don't want to compromise access to care. We don't want to create disruptions to care. And at this point, we're feeling pretty confident that we'll be able to maintain that access and limit disruptions to care for our patients and for our community.
Union leaders say before contract negotiations started, nurses had been reporting staffing shortages for years. Carrington says she too realizes a shortage of workers has been affecting the healthcare industry globally.
We have an aging population who has rising healthcare needs. And those needs are just outpacing our ability to be able to train nurses and get them into practice at the bedside.
Though both parties failed to reach an agreement, Carrington says the hospital is working on a proposal hoping to seal a deal. Along with plans to retain and recruit nurses, she says compensation tops the list.
Without a doubt, there's room for us to do more there. Our average nurse makes $121,000 a year. And in our proposal that we most recently had, we were offering a 21.5% wage increase over the life of the contract. About 13% of that, the average nurse in our hospital would have seen that upon ratification. And that's pretty significant.
Again, union leaders say the 5-day strike starts tomorrow morning at 6. The hospital is also hosting a news conference tomorrow at 11 a.m. addressing the strike. Reporting in Everett, Frankie Thompson, Fox 13 News.
Yep. So that just goes to show you that we're gonna got a lot of issues going on. So don't always pay attention to what's going on in DC and all that circus thing I had in my eyes. A lot of things going on here that's gonna affect the healthcare system and people out as well. So I just wanted to point that out to you. Good information right there. I'm just showing you the daggone things are getting really hectic, and we just got to be prepared. So, you got anything to say? What you got?
Nah, man, that is called. Man, you laid it out perfectly, Doc. Got to keep our eyes open, man. They keeping us focused on some other stuff, man. They, there's a lot of things coming down the pike here, man. Like I said, we're going through reconstruction, and these elections, we need to see what's going on in these elections and what's going to be going on in this coming up election.
Hey, Frank, I'm going to get you on to a couple of days. We're going to talk more about this kill switch thing. So I didn't get to that tonight. I'll say that for next time. Just know they're trying to mandate you, daggone, getting stuff locked in your car. So daggone total control, baby. We getting to be under tyranny. And I'm about to, you know what I call it? When I was riding down to Georgia from Atlanta, Savannah, and back, and driving through traffic, I said, man, sometimes I always think about that movie that they got. It's called The Enemy of the State. And that's exactly how they treat it. The enemy of the state.
That's one of the greatest movies they ever came up with.
Speed traps on the highway and work zones to say if you driving this way, you drive past speed limit, the light will flicker or something like that. All them cameras on the highway. We really living in the police state and we just don't know it. That's all I'm gonna say. We're living in a police state, and we got to be prepared for whatever come our way. But it's all good. People starting to learn and wake up. Some people we lay by the wayside. But that being said, brother, take your time. Yes, the bishop of authoritarian government.
Yeah, man.
Well, just take your time.
Wrap it up tonight. All right, man. Peace and everybody in the chat, man. Thank y'all for coming on.
I try to come back on tomorrow with Frank and you, and we're gonna talk about this kill switch thing if we get a chance.
All right.
Yes, sir. Take your time.
All right. Take it easy.